Welcome back to the Maven Matriarch. I'm your host, Bianca, and today's episode is going to be a raw and tender one. We're talking about isolation in motherhood. So, motherhood, it's always painted as this highlight reel, smiling babies, family photos, just a picture of joy. The joy is real, but so is the silence and the loneliness, that feeling that no one quite understands what you're carrying is very real. Whether you're a single mom, a working mom, a stay at home mom, or even a mom surrounded by family, but still feeling invisible, this conversation is for you. So get your coffee, find a quiet place, and let's go. I want to share my personal story of isolation in this episode. I want to also pull back the curtain on why it happens and then give you some tools to start finding connection again. Here's the truth. You can love your children with your whole soul and still feel profoundly alone. You can have an amazing, committed, and involved partner and still feel alone. And that doesn't make you a bad mother or partner. It makes you human. One of the hardest parts of motherhood is that no one warns you about the loneliness. It can start even early into your pregnancy. Once that excitement of having your new baby begins to settle in, there's a moment of realization that you're ultimately going through these changes, specifically as a mom, alone. I know some will disagree with me on this, but it's true. While as moms, we can all relate to each other, we've all been through it. It's still a journey you only can experience because each pregnancy is different. Stay at home moms often feel like they're drowning in silence and routine. Okay. Working moms, they feel split between the two. They feel at work, people don't see them as a mom, and at home, people don't see them as the worker. Single moms, well, they carry everything, every decision, every dollar, every responsibility, every bedtime battle. And even partnered moms can feel it, sleeping next to someone, yet still feeling unseen. And with that, here is a line that I want you to remember. Isolation in motherhood doesn't always look like being alone. It looks like being unseen. Isolation in motherhood doesn't always look like being alone. It looks like being unseen. I want to take you into a moment from my own journey. After my daughter was born, I had a day where the house was still, too still. My mother flew back to California, and it was myself, my husband, and my baby. I had been awake most of the night that day, and I was running on fumes. I was holding my daughter on my chest, scrolling through my phone. I was looking at other moms who seemed so put together. Their babies were in cute outfits, their houses were super tidy, smiles bright. And then there was me, hair not done, nails not done, dishes piled high, eyes heavy, and a heart that truly felt invisible. I wasn't alone in the literal sense. Okay. Although at work during the day, my husband was around. Granted, he worked 10 to 12 hours a day, so I was at home alone with the baby, but he would check in on us. My phone had people I could text, but I felt like no one truly saw me. Not the real me, the exhausted, scared, lonely version of me. and I would cry quietly, not because I didn't love my daughter or love the experience. I loved her more than I knew was possible, but because I realized something that terrified me. Motherhood had become the place where I felt both the most loved and the most alone. And that's scary. That moment shifted me. I realized that pretending to be fine wasn't strength. It's that trap that isolation puts you into. So, the first step to healing was saying out loud, I feel lonely. And that was enough for me to start climbing out of it. Let's pause here. Why is this such a common experience? Why do so many moms feel this way? First, there's the biology, okay? Our hormones are going crazy, and then they start to crash. Okay? Sleep deprivation totally eats away at you, and that healing is hard. That alone would make anyone feel off balance. Okay? Then there's the social shift of it all. Your friendships change, all your party invitations and dinner invitations start to dry up. People do mean well, and it's not to be taken personally, but they assume that you're too busy or you're too tired or you have baby and baby can't come. And suddenly you're completely outside of the circle. And finally, there's the identity shift. Okay, you go from being you to being mom. And we talked about that in one of the earlier episodes. While that title is holy and something I look forward to, it can also erase that person that's underneath. The guilt of it all does not help. Okay, the guilt for needing help, the guilt for wanting space, the guilt for not loving every single second of this journey will eat at you. Here's the line I want you to carry with you when it comes to this. The problem isn't that you're not strong enough. It's that motherhood was never meant to be done in isolation. And we can thank generations, telling us that this is so, and it is not so. So, how do we start bridging the gap between feeling unseen and feeling truly supported? Here are some practices that have helped me, and I believe that they can help you too. First, I call micro connections. You don't need hours. You don't need hours on the phone, hours texting. Sometimes a 5-minute voice note to a friend or a quick FaceTime call is enough. You're busy, so those quick calls can do a whole lot of good in a short amount of time. Those tiny moments of connection can remind you that you're still a part of this world. As I said before, my husband checked in multiple times a day when he didn't have a client. He didn't get any paternity leave or time off. So he took, a couple weeks of vacation to be home after my daughter was born, which is truly a sad thing, but that's a topic for another episode. For me, what my saving grace was those calls from my husband, but also my FaceTime calls with my sister and my sisters and my mother. I can say that truly helped me get through rough times. They may not even know right now how much I was going through, because our conversations, you know, we joked and talked about other things, and that helped. And I hope that they know that I'm very appreciative for those conversations. Even a 2-minute check in can be a lifeline when the silence feels heavy. The second practice is ask for help. I know this one is uncomfortable. For me, I know, and I know for many it is too. But asking does not make you weak. Asking makes you wise. People cannot show up for you if they don't know what you need. Asking for help is not an admission of weakness, it is an act of leadership in your own life. The third practice is to create rituals of self connection. If you've been listening to me, some of my other episodes, I talk about using rituals a lot. Isolation feels worse when you disappear into that role of mom. So you need to find anchors that bring you back to yourself. A walk, journaling, prayer, music, even lighting candles. The simple things that remind you that I am still me. Motherhood adds to who you are. It should never erase who you are. The fourth practice is to seek out community on purpose. Don't wait for connection to come knocking at your door. It will not. Go to the library story hour, join a mom's group, try going to a gym that has childcare. Even try finding an online space that feels safe for you. The first step is always the hardest. I know that from experience, but it's also the one that breaks the silence. For me, reaching out to join a group of entrepreneurs, like minded entrepreneurs on the same journey, same path as me, really helped me to connect. Loneliness grows in waiting, and connection grows in reaching out. The fifth practice is to redefine support with your partner. This is huge. If you have a partner, open up that conversation. When I said I feel lonely out loud, I said it to myself, but I also said it to my husband so that he knew where I stood and what I was feeling. So you're not just talking about chores, you're not just talking about, bills, but you're talking about the emotional load. It's not only about who does the dishes, it's about who notices you. And your partner has a lot to do with that. The sixth and final practice, and I will stress this over and over, is professional support. Don't be afraid to seek therapy or coaching. Sometimes the weight of isolation, it needs more than just friendly advice. And that's okay. Your healing deserves all the tools that are available, and you need to use those to move forward. Here's the most important reminder I want to leave you with. You don't have to carry everything alone to be a good mother. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to let yourself be carried too. Motherhood is a beautiful, beautiful thing, beautiful journey, but it can be lonely. If you're feeling unseen, unheard, or isolated, I want you to take this with you. You are not invisible. You are invaluable. Your heart matters. Your needs matter. You matter. Thank you so much for joining me in this vulnerable conversation on the Maven Matriarch. If today's episode resonated with you, please share it with another mom who might be silently struggling. Let's remind each other that motherhood doesn't have to be this solitary path. Until next time, I'm Bianca, and I will meet you back here very soon.